Before we get into this video, I have a huge announcement. Me, for Pokewrath and Ozymitsu will be hosting our own Pokemon YouTube panel at London Anime Con on February 16th, 2019. I honestly can't believe I've gotten an opportunity like this, but I'm super excited for it. If you're all within the UK area and want to meet me there, I'll leave the Anime Con details in the description below. I'll even be trying my best to livestream the actual panel. With that announcement now said though, let's roll the intro for this video. What's going on, guys? I'm Times, and the Sun and Moon news never stops, as recently we've got 4 brand new titles and 3 summaries for the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. So because of that, I've decided for today's video that I will inform you what these titles and summaries are, along with giving you my personal thoughts and theories on them. Let me know in the comments down below for today's question of the day though, what you think of each of these episodes, once I inform you in this video. I love to hear. But with the intro for this video now said, let's jump right into the first episode. Episode 105, Decisive Lycanroc Battle, Ash vs Gladion. The summary for this episode states, quote, while working on her research project, Lily travels around Pony Island observing the various Pokemon living there. Suddenly, her older brother Gladion appears before her. Lily is happy to be reunited with her brother, whom she hasn't seen in a while. But then, Ash and Gladion end up having a battle between their Lycanroc. End quote. This episode will air on January 20th. With that summary now said, let's now move on to my thoughts regarding this episode. Of course, just at first glance, you can obviously tell the scenes we've seen of Ash and Gladion reuniting and battling in the other previews will be taking place in this episode. So honestly, there isn't much to say that I haven't already stated in other videos. You know, I believe Ash will lose this battle, which of course will be the typical Ash loses to a rival before the league, but then beats him in the league, as of course if you've not seen my Alola League predictions, I believe somebody else will beat Ash in the league instead of Gladion. And how Gladion would actually win this battle against Ash in the episode would be by using his brand new Dragon-type Z move, Devastating Drake, which we saw go up against Ash's Splintered Storm Shards. But here is where I can bring a new theory in, which is that this loss then does Ash some justice, as he can then go on to train for the next episodes of this arc, as there will honestly be quite a few episodes before the Grand Trial. And Ash would even be informed about the strong power of the Dragon-type C move, which might end up in himself wanting to earn that C Crystal for himself. This of course being a battle against the Totem Comma-O. We know Ash and his rivals are allowed to share the same Z Crystals too, unlike Ash and his classmates who aren't allowed to share the same Z Crystals. Of course though, Ash doesn't have a Dragon-type move on any of his Pokemon at this moment in time. So maybe this could hint at him catching a Jangmo within this arc too. In fact, this arc looks like it will be longer than Akala Island and is already longer than Ula Ula. So if you think there wouldn't be enough time for Ash to catch Jangmo, there's always a possibility due to the large amount of episodes we're receiving. Or, who says that he has to catch it in this arc anyway? It could be after the arc. Or maybe he will just keep the C Crystal where he only then decides to use it in the Alola League when using his old Pokemon. Which at this moment in time, it's more likely that Ash will actually be using older Pokemon for the Alola League due to no sign of catching a Pokemon recently. Apart from the theory that I just stated, I guess. And the fact that Sun and Moon only really has 30 odd episodes left, which actually might not be enough time to develop that Pokemon Ash catches. If you were to dive deeper into this too, if Popplio truly does return one day, its evolution is actually part Dragon-type and it can learn Dragon-type moves. So that's something to think about too. Overall though, right now, I just have a feeling Ash will at least keep the Dragon-type C Crystal until the Alola League. It's just being quite difficult to predict this anime overall, as there are so many twists and turns. But then again, who says the actual Trial Z Crystal couldn't change much like we've seen for the Grand Trial Z Crystals? So, yeah, that's a possibility too, I guess. Regardless of that trial though, which honestly I spent more time talking about than I wanted to. If you saw my previous discussion, you will know Gladion and Lily in one particular scene of a preview were talking about their father, which might allude to him playing a role in this anime soon. So we gotta remember that, as that scene will be happening in this episode due to Gladion being present. Hopefully this is the episode in which Lily starts to realize she wants to work towards wanting a Z-Ring too, once watching her two favorite people battle, aka Ash and Gladion. Overall, when taking this episode in as a whole though, it looks like it'll be a pretty darn good episode overall. I just only really have one worry, which is that Ash and Gladion will only be using their Lycan Rocks, a 1v1 battle. Yet, we've still not seen them have anything more than a 1v1 battle, which is very disappointing. You would assume with the league being around the corner too, that we would have at least gotten a 3v3 battle. But it's looking like that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Poor Brionne, in fact, hasn't got the chance to battle at all. Very disappointing. But the battle still looks great. And with all of my thoughts on this episode now stated though, let's now move on to the next episode, which is episode 106. We have a sea and we have a valley. Great intensive evolution training. The summary for this episode states, quote, Sophocles wants to evolve the battery Pokemon Charjabug into a Vikavolt. After discovering there's a mysterious power present in the Fast Pony Canyon, he heads to the valleys with Charjabug in tow. Meanwhile, Lana and the sea lion Pokemon Popplio are unusually enthusiastic about learning all their master Ida and the Solace's Pokemon Primarina's moves. End quote. This episode will air on January 27th. With that summary now said, let's now move on to my thoughts regarding this episode. Despite me saying a couple minutes ago that Sun and Moon can be hard to predict, I successfully managed to predict Sophocles wanting to evolve his Charjabug. It wasn't that hard to predict, to be honest, as of course there was the merchandise and the fact that they're on Pony Island, which Fast Pony Canyon includes an evolution place for Vikavolt, but it still makes me smile to see my theories flourishing into actual episodes. I still can't get over the satisfaction of Plumeria, in fact. Anyway, regardless of that, it looks like this may be a double evolution episode, which is pretty bizarre, as I believe no more than one main character Pokemon have evolved in an episode. If I'm wrong though, feel free to correct me in the comments down below. But just remember, I'm on about main characters, not side characters or characters of the day. But yeah, this is crazy, yet kinda cool too. Brionne fits Lana perfectly, and whereas I feel like the anime is evolving Charjabug just because it can evolve on this island, making a cool story, I feel like Vikavolt can still at least bring new interesting dishes to the table later on. This episode, just by judging by the summary too, looks like both Sophocles and Lana will be in different locations. So the episode will be switching back and forth between these characters, if that's the case. Which that will be quite interesting to watch too, as we don't usually see that happen in Pokemon. They just focus on one story, which yes, we've seen side stories in episodes too, such as during the Necrozma arc we switch back and forth between the Ultra Guardians and Professor Kukui battling Team Rocket occasionally, but here, Sophocles and Lana are both the main focuses, unlike how Professor Kukui was just the side focus, if you get what I mean. But maybe I'm wrong about this, and Lana and Sophocles are actually together. But just right now, I do have a feeling that it will actually be switching back and forth between them, which will definitely be quite intriguing to watch. Another interesting thing to note about this episode though, is that the character Ida from episode 40 is making her return. Which to be honest, I'm glad, as obviously Lana looked up to her, and now she has even more of a reason to look up to her due to her now owning a Primarina, which I'm sure Lana would love to own one for herself one day. They just gotta get Brionne first. Will we see Lana own a Primarina before Sun and Moon ends though? I'm 50-50 on that, as I feel like the anime will just keep it at Brionne because why not? Whereas the other reason is because this image that surfaced online months ago and spawned many Pokemon evolutions and captures includes Primarina, which could be Lana's due to her Popplio not being present. And if you look at this image even further, there's at least one of each of the classmates' Pokemon on this poster. But then again, you know, Primarina could just be here to look fancy, as many images like to do that with the fully evolved starters. Overall though, this episode looks like it could be quite intriguing, so we gotta make sure we keep our eyes out for this one on January 27th. But with that said, let's now move on to the next episode, which is episode 107, Run Chiari, Surpass Yourself. The summary for this episode states, quote, "It's said that the guardian duty of Pony Island, Tapu Fini, shows itself at the Ruins of Hope, a secret area on the island. As one would expect, Ash attracts Tapu Fini's anger when he battles his classmate Chiari on this holy ground. Ash ends up captured, and in order to have him released, Chiari has to run off and bring back scales from Akala's guardian duty, Tapu Lele, within a strict time limit." End quote. This episode will air on February 3rd. With that summary now said, let's now move on to my thoughts regarding this episode. So, this episode is definitely the most weird and intriguing out of the bunch we received so far. But it honestly looks kind of fun too. Not a legendary Pokemon and having to please it with treasure that takes a lot of skill to acquire. Yeah, there would definitely be a lot of fun elements present here. In fact, Tapu Lele is back too, which I love Tapu Lele. Now sure, this may look like a filler episode too, however, I feel like this episode will at least be important to our characters as it showcases them the kind of attitude Tapu Fini has, and us the audience know that the guardian duties usually play a big role in the island arcs. So this is just essentially Tapu Fini's introduction episode before we witness it crown Hapu the Ana Kahuna of Pony Island, which I suppose the writers thought just showcasing Tapu Fini's personality within that episode will not be enough for us to understand how it acts. So they gave us this episode before that to show us that personality, and even make it kind of fun, hoping we would have just as much fun watching the episode. So yeah, I guess it's also nice that Chiari's getting a focus too. Apart from that though, I honestly don't have anything else I could possibly say for this episode. So let's now move on to the final revealed episode, shall we? Which is episode 108, Inside Tapu Fini's Mist. This episode doesn't include a summary yet, but I definitely feel like this is the episode in which Hapu becomes the Island Kahuna, and towards the end of the episode, informs Ash what kind of trials he can compete in before he takes on Hapu's grand trial. Episode 109 leading into the Dragon type trial, while episode 110 could be Lily's trial and Z-Ring finding episode, while finally, episode 111 could be the grand trial battle. And somewhere amongst those episodes too, we would have an episode where we witness Melton and Shaman due to them being present in one of the Pony Island arc previews. Or they might actually be included in one of those 3 episodes I predict will happen. Time shall soon tell. And by the way, yes, there's no episode on Guzma yet, but there's no need to worry. With Plumeria actually being present in episode 104 and a lot of merchandise to suggest Guzma will be appearing, our boy is bound to appear sometime after this arc, which we would then get into the Team Skull arc I predicted in my previous video as well, which is that they are trying to capture Melton for an unknown reason at this moment in time. Although, you guys did leave fantastic theories in the comment section of what Team Skull could do with Melton. Most of them being a story kinda similar to Squishy in the XY series, but of course with its own unique twist. Which I think that could happen. Anyway, overall, that concludes all the brand new titles and summaries we received so far. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of each of these episodes though, and which episode you're most excited to watch. I love to hear. I'm personally most excited for the Ash vs Gladion battle at this moment in time. But regardless of that, well everybody, now concludes this video. So, if you were informed with the latest Pokemon news and enjoyed this video, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel in any further way, I also have a Patreon. Link in the description below. Thank you for watching everybody, this is Entity Maze, signing out.